The film begins with the legend of the 10 cases that she was met by a person named Wayne who had lived for a year and made an army. The 10 episodes were influential in a major event, eating, stealing, plundering, and destroying anything. They were doing it without even communicating differently. He was always looking for a magical city called It Was Old and Magical in 1996. He can reach her. She is the gatekeeper and everyone bears witness. Instead of being raised and having a battle with them, he won in it. You can control the 10 rings with it. I am not sure that this was the first time he was defeated. They preferred to solve it a lot until it exceeded and entered it. The village gives up its magic power because he makes many mistakes in his life. And it wasn't useful to her, and it's like we give up. The use of the 10 rings and a successor named Shang. And after a while, her name is Shailene, who says her son said that she was able to do what she had power. It is large because of the great coast of Hama, and it says during which she always gets pregnant and takes one, and then enemies appear. Don't worry, there's nothing wrong with me. What house should she ask her son for? No matter what happens, she will rise without her forces because she abandoned the village and intervened in their fight against him. She would die for me and he would see what was happening, but not he can't do anything, and they come back. It continued on. The earth, and we no longer see the reason behind what was left. She saw a mosque and always had 710 rings. They will come back to you again and have mercy because of that. He knows who did this and he will finish them all. But there is cooperation between the president and the moment. They went back to eat, and the second one started hitting Ali's ear martial arts. Otherwise, everything is basic. Until 14 years later, then I would like to do something important, because we know what Alamu wanted was the one who killed him. This is not his reason, and he will return to her for 3 days. But he is the second. A year later, he will be living in America. He is the owner of the same affairs and works Arabic in a way that is guaranteed to you with a Shan, and he will go. After that, before their company, he will occupy what is with us. They speak Arabic because they have children and it is necessary. Those who make high hopes, may God have mercy on them. Mother author. They say one and he says, send a message. Otherwise, why he prevents you from working again and someone is accused of hitting you. He turns into Jackie Chan and she didn't understand anything. And I didn't support her. And she was picturing what a video is happening. Attempts by someone whose name is cut off by a loyal sword. Some in pieces on the bus, people and a prophet afterwards. And he went and saw you trying, as if the private one was saying. They tried to kill the book and the sister after every message from the place, and he must travel to save her, travel with her, and on the plane she takes care of everything, as if they were cruel and cruel. The year because before a brother died, the money went away easily and completely. It was not a wrestling ring, but months there because of the video I made, so he would know what the problem was in her sister's ring. Quickly, and we will see the doctor's space in the ring. A strategist in motherhood, he goes out because of his brother and she is hers and they try to kill him. What still made her know that he was her brother? She liked him. Her father knows her. He took a series from Shore. This in her message doesn't say one thing. You tell her path. By the way, she doesn't need his help, and he knows something similar. The dream was where they went, and it was her office. He does not know if she was chosen by God and was asking a big difference in the first place, forced her to be the one later in a message. There is nothing they don't know about the episodes, 10 o'clock on the spot. Viewers fleeing for vacation, he is trying to escape with you. You brought men today. Abu was expecting him, and between because one of her from Take Steps and Come Out, because help in one of a series and tries, but the most prominent of them is arrested, and there will be land on something, mosques too. They come home and he says he has to stay a place. And after that, and the man you are we'll talk about. One of the characters is a terrorist and his name is Rover. This remains terrorism. Her name was displayed in them because they were Baker Ha. The 10 cases, and he goes and says that, discover the secret to the people of the village, whether he or she experienced them, and the important thing is that they don't need anything. It is the gateway to the other world, and I can hear its voice. He always calls and asks from Beirut what they say. It has been his mission for a long time, and it has been prepared for him. Speech. What was in the chain comes out, then go down to the ground and draw a map of the village. He determines his role. When they refuse, they are put in prison when they are old. Is it reasonable? The killer is someone they act and tells them that she is theirs. While he was talking to them like this, it seemed like a stranger was saying, and for and so on without they understand. The so-called Morris tells them a press about a road that says it can take them to the village anywhere time, because he knows the important opposite path. The village and they escape from the prison tunnels. In Arabic, they ran away from the place as soon as they arrived. The forest in which the gate is translated into words. And rice and they say who, left and wazzle, and when they crossed inside the village, they began to see mythical creatures or magic and Maurice's sisters and others in the village. He knows them himself, but the issue in the case is rejected by God. They did not enter, and he told them that the meeting would be better for them. It appears that someone stopped us on charges and saved it. Abuja. And this was not all because it was over. They are living in a year where a gate has been opened for them. During the attack on their land, it was time. And it takes lives to send darkness, and it ends. And the world belongs to them and waits for capital protection. Topics are about the huge development that has been imprisoned. They are all in a place in the mountain, and I have closed them. The people of the village and those responsible for carrying the gate. How did anyone think of opening it, and what weapons were there? Destruction, because they carry themselves and use them. Anyone thinking of opening the gate to understand their father? He thought he was the gatekeeper because Mrs. They talk about going out because he knows that. On the 10 episodes, you will be charged today. The last thing, and what preceded it for them, is what is the phrase? About himself, we don't see why he is pregnant. The same is an illusion, and it goes like a hit. The contribution is made by pressure. On the path of his mother to the dead man, and perhaps a witness herself, and the topic becomes more important in the end. He learns he arrived and the army requested them to free Budo. Despite this, they tried to understand the truth, but it continues. The talk of the battle is on the minds of the villagers and the circles. The 10 people go to open the gate. They went for bribery and some purpose. On the gateway, it favors the forces to some extent. Injustice comes out of the gate, and friends go. People's souls are returned with these two. What happens with weapons is the same way the means. The only thing that the army decides in all cases is that they allied themselves with the villagers, and there was war at that time. It's going to happen. The beginning of defeat is mentioned in the parsing, and it begins to cost. It was injustice, and he left, and his slaves were at the gate. To stop mediation in 5 cases out of 10 and more, he hit and then took control of the 10 rings a little later. They all say don't accuse. They were needy, and I am not only him, and the one in our episodes is the Dark Lord, who explains sleep because darkness and the friends of his soul began to become rings. Dozens and sister said they will go to the size of the monster before they reach the village, who can hold great protection as if it were, and try, and at the same time the writer. At that time, Shakhtar was also in the fight from the second round. The 10 episodes of the monster that first appear. Then you think about the village people in the 10 cases, picker of the souls of all those who died in the war. And he returns to the networks and says that his friends are the market for everyone. What happened, and she tells her, is full of cartoon episodes. Another Dragon Ball featuring a giant monster and a rescue. The world, of course, did not open its gate, and he told them, from her, and he went with her, and there was a doctor. They ask about the episodes, and they have been around for a while. He told them that they had worked for almost 1,000 years, so he said, it certainly comes from many books, including anything. In any case, she was more confident about anything like that. That's why they don't know themselves, because they entered the vortex with us, I see. And then, this is something else at all, and we will see later. The 10th episode and the new Akbar army were written.